And of course, AMP stands for physical. We started from the right to the left, not left to the right. Physical training, mindset, action, and they all correlate hand in hand with each other. Today's episode, we decided it's going to be about nutrition, and we're going to give a broad view of nutrition. But before we go into it, I am Jake. I have been coaching. I've been directing training for over a decade. This is Tom. He's been doing it way longer than me. How long, Tom? How long have you been doing
33 plus.
33 plus years. So we work with hundreds and hundreds of clients. We work with hundreds of coaches. We train coaches. We developed coaches. We developed our clients. So we do this out of passion, not for a monetary reward. And it's extremely rewarding to us. And it's an honor for us to come out and share all this wisdom with you guys. Okay. I want to talk about quickly before we go deeper into what Tom has to say today about macronutrients. I want to build emphasis and I want to bring your awareness into the importance of nutrition, the aspect of how nutrition doesn't just affect your results when it comes to working out and training, but it actually affects your mindset. It affects your mental health as well as like your physical health. So I'm not going to dig too much into this because we only have a little bit of time to talk today, but I do want you I want to bring the importance and self-awareness to the fact that nutrition is going to play a massive stratospheric role in the development and the attainment of results when it comes to your physical goals, your spiritual goals, and your mental goals, okay? Now, nutrition, obviously the scientific term of food is macronutrients. Tom, can you tell us a little bit more about what macronutrients are?
I can tell you more than a little more, but we'll just do a little more today. Yeah. But in a question that I ask a lot of my clients or potential clients is, are you eating to live or living to eat? So, and a lot of us, I'll eat this. Well, I'll eat that. Well, but then again, a lot of us, and probably a lot of you out there watching this, are more cognizant of your eating so that you can have the best life or best workout that you possibly can. But briefly, your macros, which most of you probably know what a macro is, so it's your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fat. Your protein is going to build and repair muscle tissue and some connective tissue. Your carbohydrates is muscle glycogen, which is the preferred fuel for your body. In fat, you can also use for fuel, but we'll talk about that on another day. But your fats are essential, and your vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat soluble. So you absolutely have to have some healthy fats in your diet. And briefly, just so you are aware of what your blood sugar spikes are, protein only spikes your blood sugar level 20%. Carbohydrates are going to give you a 100% rise and drop in your blood sugar level. Fat gives you 0 spike. So when you can get all these nutrients together, your blood sugar is going to be at a better level. So Jake, what do you think about the importance of nutrition and exercise and how that affects your daily living?
Oh my God, it impacts everything. Like the quality of your life comes down to the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts come down to the quality of things that you consume. And that breaks down to physical consumption and visual consumption. So, I mean, the environment that you're around is going to affect the way your mind is going to be, and the food that you consume throughout the day definitely affects the way you're going to be thinking. Because it's all an organism that works together. So a lot of research recently that have been conducted, they show that the gut flora, that if you have a healthy microbiome in your intestinal tract, it leads to a healthier mindset. It leads to a better cognitive ability when it comes to you being like engaging and integrating more of your neocortex, your higher thinking. It really works hand in hand with the way your gut feels. And that's why they say gut health is very important. It plays a huge role into how you're going to feel, how the totality of your being is going to feel, basically. Because the human being, I know I go a little bit metaphysical on this, but it is important that we cover this, because as a coach for over a decade, there's a spiritual and psychological component. All my clients have succeeded is because their mindset was in the right place. It's because they did a transformation of mindset. So that's why I'm trying to kind of build importance on the psychological aspect. And I want to build the reason today we brought nutrition up, I want to build more importance on how you will have, it's like trying to swim in the ocean with shackles on your legs, like with 150-pound dumbbell shackle to your leg. It's way more difficult. Now, if you take that shackle out, you're better at navigating the ocean. That's what it means to have healthy nutrition, proper nutrition. You navigate life better. You're easily more disciplined. You can discipline yourself more against the things that are triggering to you, against the things that are tempting to you, that can lead to a better development of yourself. That can lead you to be committed to your goals more. It can lead to helping you commit to your fitness journey and your business journey. Whatever it applies into every aspect of your life. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, also to
Go ahead.
interject, so you don't steal the whole show today, Jake.
I'm not.
So just to interject, because
just
we're
wanna-
excited about what we're doing, is that we all know that there actually is a mind-body connection. And like you were saying on gut health, your gut health is also your immune system.
Correct.
So
Correct.
there's so many things, and all of this boils back down to what kind of nutrients are you putting in your body? How clean are they? Are you balancing out your macros? Are you balancing out your micros? And like you were talking about what you do with your clients and their success rate, with my clients, I start with balancing out their macros based off of their goals. And then I balance out their micros once their macros are balanced out, so they can get their vitamins and minerals,
Exactly.
and they're going to cover every single base that their mind and body needs.
I agree. There's this is why I want to not spend too much time talking about this, but we will get to other episodes where I think it will be the 4th or the 5th episode where we're going to talk about some foods that I don't even want to, let alone touch. I don't even want you to look at. And then there's foods that I definitely want you to integrate into your daily lifestyle. That's going to help you overall. But we don't want to get into the details just yet. But I do want to pass you guys to Tom, where I want you to tell us a little bit about the difference in the fuel system requirement between the anaerobic and aerobic training. And if you could give us a little brief explanation, what is anaerobic? What is aerobic training?
Anaerobic training is fuel without oxygen. That is the fuel. It's muscle glycogen. It's the fuel you need for weight training. So that's an anaerobic activity, fuel without oxygen. An aerobic activity, cardiovascular exercise, is fuel with oxygen, which means that the first 15 to 16 minutes, you do any cardiovascular exercise, say it's a treadmill, say it's a run, what have you. The first 15 to 16 minutes, your body's actually using muscle glycogen, which is carbohydrates for fuel. When you hit somewhere between minutes 16 and 20, that's when your muscle glycogen, your carbohydrates, start mixing with your oxygen. You hit what is called the Krebs cycle, and fat burning begins.
So anaerobic is basically what I'm getting from what you're saying. Anaerobic is cardio-based training.
Yes.
And aerobic is weight training, resistance training.
Yes.
Got it.
But
Yeah.
just to interject this real quickly, because I know a lot of people might do Orange Theory, a boot camp, CrossFit, and I'm not knocking any other forms of exercise. However, you're mixing two fuel systems. So you're going to get the best results for your strength training and muscle building when you are purely doing your anaerobic activity separately from your cardiovascular exercise. Because when you're doing a CrossFit, a boot camp,
Anaerobic would be the weight training and resistance training. Aerobic would be the
aerobic is your cardio.
Got it.
But you need to do them separately to get the most you can out of your time in the gym and to hit your goals. Because mixing two fuel systems, you're not going to have Jake's biceps if you do that. So that's why you need to keep them separately.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, and this is why we're here to share this knowledge with people. And I'm asking the questions that they will be asking. It's like, when do I do my aerobic training? When do I do my anaerobic
Well,
training?
that's a great point, Jake, what you just asked. And the reason I say that, because say you get up, and a lot of my clients that do this, and we may have some back and forth on this, because some people might want to work out, well, I'm going to go to the gym and do my weights at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, being a sports nutritionist, I'm well aware that it takes 2 hours to convert fuel into energy. So what is your body using for fuel if you're going to do strength training and you go to the gym at 6? If it takes 2 hours to convert a meal into energy, then you're going to be using yesterday's energy to try to get the best workout that you possibly can. Now, But if you would have like a simple fast acting carbohydrate, like a piece of fruit, which is not enough, that'll get into your your system within 45 minutes. Or you could do a meal replacement shake, not a protein shake, a meal replacement with protein, carbs, and fats, because that is a pre-digested protein because it's in a powdered form. That too will get into your system quick enough to where you're able to get your strength training at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm a
But
huge advocate for. Go ahead. You wanted to
well,
finish?
I just wanted to say briefly that, but the best time to do your cardio is fasted cardio. First thing, that's when your bodybuilder do it. First thing in the morning on an empty stomach. If you can't do that or on a separate day, do it right after your strength training because you've expended your muscle glycogen, your carbohydrates, your fuel when you're doing your strength training. So then you're carb depleted and it's easier for you to get into the Krebs cycle and burn body fat.
Correct. And then I want to build emphasis on the fact that you get into your anaerobic training without food. I'm not against intermittent fasting. It has its place at work, but when it comes to your goal being muscle gain, anaerobic, you have 20 minutes in the morning where your body's going to use the glycogen that is disposable, like for the body. After that, it's going to go for the next thing. That's the quickest way to get fuel for the body is muscle is number one. All right. So
Yeah.
number two is fat. It takes a lot longer to break fuel from fat than it is to break it from muscle. And that's why I tell people, if your goal is hypertrophy, which is the enlargement of the tissue down to its cellular level, that's just a scientific term for it, and not your goal is hypertrophy, not atrophy, then you definitely want to make sure you have a meal before. I actually, what what Tom said about fruit, my pre-workout is an apple every single time. It's fast dissolving, and my body can absorb the glycogen from it quickly, and then I can feel it throughout my workout. I don't do caffeine for my own personal preference. I'm not against black coffee. You can push through it, but that's just my goal and my way of looking at how I approach nutrition and training.
So to kind of wrap this up, what we're saying here is that if you aren't fueling yourself properly for your workouts, you're not going to get the results that you need to get. So in a certain sense, if you aren't eating right, there's no sense in going to the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
And just to wrap things up, just to let you know, our next episode, we're going to kind of break it down a little bit and go into, are you living a conscious or unconscious life?
Yeah, we want to cover the mindful and mindset aspect of this, of your well-being, of the totality of your well-being, which is very important, right? Like the mindset is everything. So we'll cover that. It's like the psychological part of what we confronted during our journey of coaching people and working with coaches is we realize that there's it's like an iceberg, right? There's like a huge part about the clients that is hidden, that is a psychological part that needed development for the client to actually succeed.
Well, yeah, and you're right. And to do that, and that was part of the mindset, but it's also part of mindfulness of how are you just going through your day with your to-do list and stressing out over what you have to do, getting to work, or are you actually consciously thinking, are you smelling your cup of coffee? You don't have one, but I do. When was the last time you smelled your cup of coffee in the morning? Sometimes it's the little things. Are you conscious or unconscious? See you next week.